So there is a new dating craze with Gen Z. Gen Z women are obsessed with men who resemble rats. They really are saying this is a hot rodent summer. They want to get a hot rodent boyfriend. And they're creating all of these lists of men in Hollywood who resemble rodents. And it's considered really hot right now to look like a rat.
This is why these lists are why women will never be happy.
I mean, we've talked about this before. They just love categorizing people and giving people like animal categories for how they look.
This is why women will never be happy.
This is the newest one.
Like, because some girls can be like, your boyfriend looks like what was one, like what was an animal?
Eagle.
Like but there were less flattering ones. Somehow I feel
like a baboon.
Like your boyfriend looks like a baboon, and she'll be like, what?
But they emphasized, okay, like hot rodent man isn't supposed to be an insult. It's actually a compliment.
This is a picture of a bunch of them, right?
So we've got Barry Keoghan, Jeremy Allen White, Kieran Culkin, and that last guy, he was in Challengers, right?
I have no idea. He just looks like fetal alcohol John Krasinski to me.
The term hot rodent has gained popularity among Gen Z, referring to men who are considered attractive despite not conforming to traditional standards of masculinity. These individuals are often slender with angular faces and fine features, making them stand out from the typical eagle handsome or bear handsome types.
Again, so some girl is going to tell her friend that her husband is bear handsome, and she's like, what does that mean? Or she said, your boyfriend is bear handsome. Your boyfriend is cockatoo handsome.
I haven't heard that one yet.
She's gonna be like, I don't want to date a cockatoo handsome man. I want an eagle handsome man.
Yeah, and It's Always Sunny, they always make fun of Dee for looking like a bird.
And this is why women will never be happy, because they will never find a man who is the right type of animal handsome for them, because they feel the need to make these lists.
Well, they're never going to be happy because they're all breaking up with their golden retriever boyfriends in order to get a hot rodent man. So Barry Keoghan has been dubbed a hot rodent due to his slender build and striking features. Kieran Culkin is appreciated for his unconventional good looks and endearing sense of humor. Jeremy Allen White earned a spot among the hot rodent ranks.
But Jeremy Allen White is like in ridiculously good shape.
Sure.
So that helps.
He's giving more like, he has like the Roman nose. Mm-hmm. Like they said, this
is why men will always be happier. I'm sorry, because men will never think this. Men will never say she looks like she has a Roman nose.
No, they won't.
There's
just it's kind of more of a binary. You're either attractive or not. And then a ton of them are saying that the co-stars from Challengers, who were Zendaya's love interests, looked like Stuart Little and Roddy from Flushed Away. You remember Flushed Away?
Not something I've seen.
You never watched it?
I never saw it.
Nope.
That was an iconic movie.
Look there's...
So hot rodents possess the following traits: fine, pinched facial features, slender build, angular faces, unconventional looks. They have witty and charming personalities, sensitivity and emotional intelligence.
See, all of that is just a weird type of projection. There's a reason why men like this are popular in Hollywood. It's because they have striking features that are unique, right? There's a reason why Barry Keoghan, look, if you look at like these pictures here, Barry Keoghan looks like fetal alcohol Ezra Miller, right? And Jeremy Allen White looks like Gene Wilder.
Yeah,
he does,
it's really such a shame that Timothy Chalamet got the Wonka role when he should have gotten it.
So look, there's a reason for casting men like this in movie roles, because they have striking features that stand out on screen.
Yeah.
Projecting all of this onto something to do with their masculinity or lack thereof is insane.
Well, the last trend we talked about was baby girl energy. Which would include Jacob Elordi, Timothy Chalamet, and a lot of these
thrown in.
More effeminate male stars in Hollywood who dress effeminate, and they have like long frilly hair. But it's all about that, like, eschewing toxic masculinity, right? So one of the key points is that hot rodent men convey the opposite of toxic masculinity. They publicly show love to their partners, but in a slightly weird but sexy way.
There's no, they're just making this
Weird,
shit
I
up.
don't know what that means.
They're just making
but
this shit up.
Break
Also,
that
the
down.
girl version of this would be Anya Taylor-Joy.
You think?
Yes, because she
But
has
men don't like
No, but
Anya
I'm saying she
Taylor-Joy.
has a striking look, and there are
Men-
plenty of men that find her attractive.
Every
but-
time people talk about Anya Taylor-Joy, all the men are saying like she's ugly. They're all saying that. Same thing happened with Halle Bailey. Because she has an unusual looking face because that eye distance.
I feel like there's a weird amount of like as soon as you get past the looks part, like you can judge the looks that there's trends right now and what's attractive physically. When you start projecting like emotional traits and personality quirks onto them, you've entered the world of Tumblr fan fiction.
I don't know. I am sympathetic to it because I do believe physiognomy is real. Like, I do believe you can pretty reliably predict personality traits based on someone's facial features.
Interesting.
So I'm not totally skeptical of it.
I feel like rat face and what was it, masculine, like a strong masculine man? Or-
Not toxic.
People in
Not
the
toxic
people in the
masculine?
chat are on
I don't
for
think
Anya.
those go hand in hand.
You think the rat men are toxically masculine?
No, it goes along with male
just-
feminists.
Are they-
I mean, attempting to look trying to look unthreatening.
I just feel like I wouldn't trust someone who has like a rodent face.
I wouldn't either.
You know?
Yeah.
By the way, the chat is showing out for Anya Taylor-Joy. They're saying you're wrong.
Okay, well, I always am saying that I love Anya Taylor's face, and I think she gets too much shit for looking unusual. I love her face. I just usually see men
Also,
saying negative
Mary
things
is
about
not
her.
saying that she's unattractive. Mary's saying that the discourse she has seen around her says that.
Yeah, I think she's way more attractive than someone who's more conventional, like Margot Robbie, for instance.
She has a very unique look about her, and again, a casting director, somebody who knows that they're going to have to photograph her, put her in front of a camera, says,
Yeah.
"Look, that's a striking look. It's going to stand out on camera. That's a good thing."
Yeah. But yeah, the hot rodent boyfriend is definitely, associated with the opposite of toxic masculinity because he looks sickly. He looks like, he needs to be fed some cheese maybe. He needs to be fed some cartoonish looking yellow cheese.
I read this article that says others have attributed this to white mediocrity because it's mostly it's all white actors that they're talking about here.
It's controversial.
And Julia Fox has highlighted that this is a double standard between men and women, saying she wishes that women were afforded that luxury. Well, they are. It's fat women that are afforded that luxury because body positivity is the one that's the women's version of this.
I think she's trying to say that it's less popular to have unconventional looks for women. Like
and
women,
have them found attractive.
yeah, like women seem to have like a more broad set of different types of hot men that they're into. Whereas for men, it seems like, she's either attractive or she's not.
Another person said that this is just a simple example of male privilege, dad bods, rodent men, and other ways we elevate mediocrity or plain old normalcy in men while still holding women to unrealistic beauty standards and perpetuating female body dysmorphia.
Another
Again,
one said
Lizzo has stomped into the chat.
the word rodent was nasty as hell, but please remember that women rarely get considered for roles in Hollywood if they are not considered conventionally attractive.
Also not true anymore.
The standards for men are in the pits of hell compared to women, and women are judged way harder in the public eye. I completely disagree.
Hollywood is full of less than conventionally attractive women now. That's they want to do that now. The same reason why when you go to Target and you look at the billboards and the things that advertise the clothes that they're running, there's all sorts of different body shapes and types because they believe that we live in a society so narcissistic now that you don't want to see what was once considered the height of beauty. They think that you just want to see normal old Cheeto eating you. Looking back at yourself.
Cheeto eating you.
That's what they think.
Orange fingers and all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, they should do that. They should do one where it's like a lady advertising like a dress and she's like, there's just Cheeto marks on the shirt.
Yeah, I'm getting tired of the inclusivity for sure. And every time that I'm trying to scroll through, I'm online shopping, I have to see people's weird birthmarks and surgical scars and tooth gaps and vitiligo and stretch marks and cellulite and fat rolls. And I just don't care for it. There's nothing wrong with wanting to see beautiful people. There's nothing wrong with wanting to watch beautiful, aspirational people in your entertainment either. But that's
Also,
something that we can all agree on. The rest of the internet, not so much.
All of those men, it's simply the face, and the rest of it, they're all traditionally in good shape. So it's got nothing, women get more
That's what
leeway.
men are attracted to?
No, I'm saying that like those men that they're giving examples of are all are in very good shape because they're camera ready. They just have unique looking faces.
Would you say men care more about facial features or body?
I think they care about both.
No, but what's more important?
I think it varies depending on the guy.
It very much depends on the guy. Yeah.
Interesting. Because, I mean, that girl on Bridgerton who was just bragging about how she demanded to have nude scenes.
See?
Because she's fat and she wants to, like, force people to look at her. She has a perfectly pretty face. There's nothing wrong with how she looks. It's just, the fact that she's obese.
Yeah.
And she's, like, overcompensating really hard for it.
Look, if you go back and you watch television from 15 years ago, the general level of beauty on screen was far higher because that was just the barrier to entry. You were expected to be good looking on camera. There's leeway given to whether, look, a beautiful lead will sometimes have a less attractive roommate or a less attractive coworker or something because they're drawing comparison to them and it shows you who the lead is now. Now that's not the case anymore. And there's a lot of, mediocrity all around when it comes to Hollywood these days.
So what animals are considered offensive versus complimentary? Like I've seen bear handsome, I've seen eagle, I've seen reptilian.
Somehow I feel like
there's golden retriever, like dog handsome.
Somebody might take an issue with being called reptile handsome. Perhaps
they said Timothy Chalamet was reptilian handsome. Are all of them considered offensive?
I actually can see that.
But yeah,
kind of like
he has a serpentine.
He has this weird like sleaziness to him.
Is that what Draco Malfoy would be? Because he's so Slytherin?
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
Wow, I actually could sit here and categorize all these men into animal groups.
And you will,
it's a thing.
And you will be less happy for it.
I think Daniel Radcliffe was also on one of these lists. He's considered rodent-like.
Handsome.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I will never have to worry about thinking about these things on a regular basis. At work, and that's it. Women will be making lists long into their free time.
They do it to themselves, too, like with the boy pretty versus girl pretty thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and it plays into women's neuroticism.
Yes,
heavily.
For sure.
There was one trend I remember on TikTok that was like women saying they want to be pretty, but in the way that boys are pretty. Do you remember that? Did you guys hear about that trend?
Ugh.
No.
So it was like girls that would cut their hair short and then kind of like slick their hair to the side and wear like suit coats, trying to be.
But it never works.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense because now you're just pretty in a masculine way.
Yeah.
I guess.
I
don't know how you describe that, but.
So here's the problem, right? Like guys will just say she's pretty, and that's fine. Women will say he's pretty, but this kind of pretty. Well, I don't want to date a guy that looks like bear pretty. I want eagle. I don't want bear handsome. I want eagle handsome. And then they'll dump a guy who's treating him perfectly fine. And then a couple of years go by and you end up with that video we saw last week of where did all the good men go? Because
you're too busy categorizing them into animal groups.
She's like, I'm sorry, I only found eagle handsome good men. I didn't find any bear handsome good men. And frankly, that's a problem. I know my worth, she says, before dying alone with cats.
Right.
It's a problem.
I know.
I feel sorry for you ladies.
Everyone says that Glenn Powell looks like a capybara, which I kind of see. It's not supposed to be a bad thing. Obviously, Glenn Powell is super handsome.
It's so funny. So again, him with the long hair, he had like the haircut he has in Hitman is objectively one of the worst haircuts you can have, and he's probably the only one right now who can pull. It's straight out of the 90s. It's like it's long to here, and it's slicked all the way back. But then you see him with short hair in Anyone But You, and he's far more striking. His appearance is far more striking when he's got the long hair. That seems to fit the demeanor of the characters he's playing. Whereas the short hair, he just looks like any other Hollywood actor.
I think everyone just pretends that they're more picky about looks on the internet, but when it comes to real life, people just tend to date people within their own league.
Guys-
And things kind of sort themselves out.
Guys who are bare handsome are also at an advantage now because they can be alone in the woods and the women will choose them.
Well, that's just a gay term, right? Did women just adopt that term from the gays? They're all twinks, bears, whatevers.
Yeah.
No idea.
You've never heard of that?
No.
Like a burly, big man.
Okay.
considered a bear.
So it's, I mean, is that, all right. That makes sense. I guess.
Okay, now you're just lying. You've never heard gay men call other gay men bears?
I don't engage in conversations where gay men talk about the levels of attractiveness of other men, ever.
Okay. We'll believe you.
I could
You've
see,
heard
like,
of twink, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Well,
so it's
that's-
like the opposite of a twink.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Basically,
I
yeah.
guess. Like, it makes sense as a descriptor.
So gay men do this and straight women do this, but not straight men.
Makes sense to me.
But there's the hot, pretty, cute distinction as well.
That makes more sense to me.
That makes sense to men.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can wrap my head around that.
There's just the 3 categories.
Again,
Yeah.
you ladies categorizing everything is why you guys are gonna have a hard time settling down because you're gonna have to take from this category.
And then you
this
got to do the
category.
astrology chart on every guy to make sure he's astrologically compatible with you.
No
You're
wonder
just
everyone's
never
And
going
then
to
they're
find
like-
someone.
They're like, why can't I meet someone?
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.